their books. There was, you know, the groovers, freestyle dancers, b-boys, and we'd get together and open mics. You know, where the
I remember
MCs would
that.
get
Yeah.
on, and they would take turns freestyling while we were all getting down. And really, you know, if you talk to any 90s b-boy like that, that was some of the best moments, you know, for us dancing, just because the energy was always off the hook.
Yeah.
To where we were going, getting together, showing out, and just from every level, just people who appreciated hip hop to people with their books to
that makes
freestyle
sense.
dancers, you know, like freestyle dancers, b-boys, you know, poppers, open mics, you know, for the MCs, you know, and we just all just get down and really just look to push, you know, like see each other and get hype off each other and look to take that piece and incorporate it. Like, oh, okay, like that was dope. I want to flip that movement. Like, oh, I could do something with that, you know? And over the years, really, you know, with a lot of the guys that we would see, you know, that there was a real appreciation for each other's.
Okay.
You know, so even though we kept like the core of who we were, as whether it be a b-boy or a groover, you really saw people evolving, you know, dancers evolving, and just incorporating it. And it's dope because, you know, as b-boys, we're really like a collage. We really take in everything that we think looks dope and put it into what we do.
Yeah. You know what, Ace? I want to tell you a story. I know you're gonna relate to this. So in '93, I'm coming out to LA, right? You know, I was coming out here. I wanted to go to Melrose to see the hip hop shop, Sporty LA, where they got the Pumas.
Yeah.
I stopped in this town called Bakersfield.
Okay.
So I go into the mall. You know, walking around, and I see this little black dude, like real skinny though, real cocky. You know, walking around like looking like. I knew he was cocky. I was like, you know what? I said, told my friends to watch me on serve this dude. Like, I can look at the look on his face, and he was walking around with this other little Filipino dude named Mark, and on his T-shirt said BIS.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So we went into the bathrooms. We walked past each other. So let's take it to the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Little Mark goes in there and starts spinning on his head like in the bathrooms, right?
Yeah.
Security guards come in. We making too much commotion, so they threw us out, and that's how me and Tyrell's friendship developed. And then I asked him at the time. I said, "What crew are you in?" He said, "Boys in Style."
Yeah, that's my original crew, my original teacher. You know, he's from Boys in Style, and but he was down in Palm Springs. The guys were from Delano.
Yeah.
You know, about a half hour past Bakersfield going north. So
right.
Between Bakersfield and Fresno. And
I was gonna say I remember a dude named JoJo, Freddie, Max.
Yeah. JoJo is you know, like you know, yeah, all those guys. You know, they were all super talented.
Boys in Style was deep, bro.
Yeah.
When I say deep, I went to a Boys in Style Filipino weekend after party at when they had the dance.
Yeah, that used to be the joint. The Filipino weekend, you know, it was show out time, and
Boys in Style came in deep. They even had BIS, which I guess they would say Bees in Style.
Yeah.
And they had the BIS girls and the BIS. And Tyrell, to me, he kind of stuck out the most, not because only he was black, but like he can do every variation of walks. He would do sidewalks, UFO, crickets, crab walks.
You know, like we were a walks crew. Originally, we were house dancers. I did that. I was learning for about a year. I was starting to really find my way, you know, because I was just all in. I was terrible. You know, even my teacher would say, "Oh man, like you're like the last person I would ever thought do something in dance." You know?
Okay.
Because it was just so hard for me. But when you have a passion for something, you know, you just dive head first, and you know, when you're all in, that after a while, your dedication and commitment will start to show. You know, so to this day, I just saw him like 2 weeks ago. Me and my lady were down in Palm Springs visiting, and then we got together with him and his wife, and we were having dinner together.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
You know, it just came up, you know, and I was like, I tried to tell her, you know, like, I was telling him how I try to tell whoever, because, you know, a lot of people see me now, like, you know, in dance, of course, you know, it just flows, and it's a part of me now. But at the time, you know, it was not a part of me, and I was telling him, yeah, man, like I try to tell people, like when you have a passion for something, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, that the number one part is your passion, your dedication to something.
Yes.
And that will come easier. I've seen a lot of talented people come and go, and sometimes the ones who have it really, really easy have less of an appreciation for it. So somehow they end up making their way out of the scene, because when things come up in life, you know, maybe like it's just not fun anymore, you know, for them.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they end up deciding like, oh, no, it's okay, you know, that's not for me anymore. You know, which is great, you know, like, because even when something's there for a point in time, sometimes it serves its purpose for each of us, you know. But I find the ones who struggle with it a little bit more at the beginning, like it tests your mettle about how passionate you are about something, and whether maybe you're going to stick with it even when more obstacles come, because from the very beginning you had obstacles. From the very beginning you had it tough. And you stuck with it because it meant that much to you. You know, so when you get better, life always throws new things at you, but you still find a way to make it a part of your life and stick with it, because it's just important to you, and it shows in your dance. You know, like, people ask me, I'm going on 30 years in
wow, that's dope, bro.
Yeah, going on 30 years next year.
Yeah.
Next year will be 30. I'm at 29 now. You know, and you know, like, that's the last thing I ever would have thought when I first started.
Right.
You know, it was just like, I had to have it. It was important to me. I wanted to be as good as my teacher, you know, and, you know, I just kept waking up. I wake up each day and say, you know what, it's still important to me, so I keep doing it. You know, and people are like, oh, how do you dance this long? I'm like, one, you don't think that far ahead. I mean, there's things of taking care of yourself and all that, but, you know, for the most part, if something means something, you wake up, it's still important. Okay, let me find a way, let me eat right, let me, you know, exercise, let me stretch, let me do whatever, because it's still important to me.
Because of the longevity.
Yeah, and for me, you know, like, I just, you know, like, we got here by just waking up and saying, you know what, it's still important to me, so I'm going to find a way to make time for it, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's that simple, you know? I hear a lot of people say, oh, like, I want to, you know, like I miss it, I want to come back. And my answer is always, why don't you? You know, like, you know, maybe you're not going to have the time and be who you were like 15 years ago.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, because life is always going to present something new. But you, in some form or fashion, you could still keep it as part of your life, you know, even if it's just a little bit.
Even if it's just showing up.
Yeah.
Or just maybe pulling somebody younger to the side and like showing them how to correct, you know.
Whatever it might be. Like, even when I came last week, there was a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, God, like, I'm gonna show up at the very end of practice, like, and I was like, you know what? Even if I'm there for a few minutes, it's better than nothing, and it end up being a good practice. You know, it ended up being way better just by showing up. So. You know, I was like, oh man, I'm glad I came. You know, because originally I was just like, maybe I just turn around and go home. Because the day's starting off super wet. You know?
Oh, I got you.
But I was like, nah, whatever. You know, just go, even if it's just for a few minutes, even if it's just stretching out and being around the environment.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Just show up. You know, and in life, you know, like, whether it be b-boying or anything else, that's really it is. You know, the start is always the hardest part. You know, the beginning is always the hardest part. Just getting there and showing up is the hardest part. Like, showing up to the gym, like, you know, like, for me, my life is super busy, so, you know, in order to be able to get my day going, I have to get up at 4 in the morning, so I can.
Is this every day?
Most days.
Most days?
Most
okay.
days, especially the weekdays, you know, like, because, you know, like, I'm getting myself ready, then I get to the gym, then I get back, and then I shower, get cleaned up, then I'm waking up my lady and kids, you know, and the day's going. But in order for me to be able to do all that and then shower and then wake them up, I have to get up super early. And I was like, if I could do it differently, I would. There ain't nobody a fan of getting up at 4 in the morning.
No.
But if it's important to me, I'm gonna if that's where it fits best, and if that's the only way I can do it for now until I figure out something else, I guess I just have to do that. I mean, I could not do that because we all have choices to make.
Yeah.
But for me, like I said, it's still important to me. So I'm like, okay, let me get up at 4. You know, not a fan of it, but let me drag myself up and get the day going.
Yeah.
Get in my little bit of time of gym time and get home, get cleaned up, and then get the day going with my kids, you know. So, but yeah, back to sometimes I'll veer off. My apologies.
Right. With the Boys in Style.
Boys in Style, we were house dancers. About a year later, we had an event. We were.
Were you living in? Because I thought Boys in Style originated out of Delano.
We were there. We went up for Philippine weekend. So we met up with the guys.
Okay.
We drove up to Philippine with the rest of the guys. And we were going to, at the time, like we thought we were going to maybe battle the Soul Brothers. You know, we heard they were going to be up there. And so we were excited. We wanted to battle them.
Who?
Soul Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, amazing dancers here.
Yeah.
In LA, famous. Like, they're supreme. You know,
Yeah.
They're really dope. Never showed up. And one of the Boys in Style's cousins were up from San Jose. Dangerous Image, DI.
DI, yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, amazing choreography group. But they break too, San Jose was. Whew. They were really dope in power at the time. Somehow, nobody to battle. We ended up battling each other. We didn't break. So the OGs who were, they were MasterMovements. First generation was MasterMovements. Bboys. Second generation, third generation, and the second generation BIS. We got moved to BIS. Second generation. And they were like stunts, like a stunts crew. Like they did a lot of stunts. And then third was moving into housing, and we did a little bit of stunts with housing.
Okay.
And then, so third generation, that's who we were. We ended up battling those guys.
I heard about that.
We didn't have anything for b-boying. So the first generation, Uncle Joseph and Arden, ended up battling them. And, very next day, we ended up becoming B-Boys. Like, we were on the path of trying to be B-Boys after that because it was just, to us, so amazing seeing stuff that was just so explosive. We knew, like, okay, that's our direction, that's where we're going next. And the best guy from their crew was this guy, Alan, and he was good at walks.
In Boys in Style?
Yeah, no, from DI.
Oh, from DI,
Yeah.
okay.
So, really, our image, even though we did spins, the best guy in their crew did walks. The Yodas, these ones, and the floats. He couldn't do merry-go-rounds, all that. But no matter what, like that was our image of b-boy. So that's how we became a walks crew.
Oh, okay.
That's how our influence to really push walks ended up becoming big.
Because I would see JoJo do them a lot.
JoJo was incredible. Like he was the best b-boy. Like we had a lot of guys, but like he was great at everything. He was like super dope at walks. Like if he would have kept going, like I can only imagine, because that guy could do walks combos forever. Like,
yeah.
It just seemed like forever. Like God, like he was just going and going and going. And at the time, way back in the days, Walkmen were popular, so his nickname was Sony. His b-boy name was Sony because Sony Walkman.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So he was incredible, and he did closed leg flares. Like he had a good mix of everything. But his walks were really incredible, and everyone had good walks, but he was the guy that really stood out. And those guys, like they were really pushing. Even 1 year later, we battled the guys from over in San Jose, Rock Horse.
I heard about that battle too.
Later, and really held our own. Like they were established crew. We were only a year in. And, like, it was really a good battle, especially factoring in, that we were only a year in. So that was a good battle, and then the guys just kept pushing, like, before they quit, like, they went up to San Jose at the World Wars and
I was there.
Other events.
I seen them there. I seen JoJo and them at the World Wars.
Yeah, and they were really making their mark to where people like recognize. I wish people would have seen San Jose's power at that time, because especially towards the end, World War III, World War IV, like that's some of the best power I've ever seen. Like that can comp to most power that's comes.
Yeah.
People see the power and the best power move guys now, and yeah, the guys then weren't doing like Forever 90s and all that, but combo wise, like they were as good, if not better, than most.
Mega Man.
Mega Man was dope, but there were other guys that, Sean Ortiz and them.
Oh yeah.
The Jugheads, Sean Ortiz. That's the best power move guy I've ever seen.
I seen him one time. There was an event up in Daly City, and he came in with a whole bodysuit and a helmet, and I thought it was like, bro,
no, I'll tell you this, man. We went up to one of the events. It was World War III or IV. It was like an airplane, It was like an airplane, and half that place, if not a good number of that place, had bodysuits on it, and we thought it was funny as hell until we started seeing them do power, and we were like, oh snaps! Like, this is not funny. Like, these dudes are really good. Like,
yeah.
Like all of a sudden it wasn't a joke anymore.
Yeah.
It was like, why is everyone this good? Like, why? Like little kids, grown-ups, it didn't matter. Like, incredible power. Some of the most incredible power, looking effortless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it definitely, like, we were pretty good. But we left that event saying, we got a lot of work to do. Like, we got a lot of work to do. It's really kind of sad, like, and crazy, because most of those guys, once they decided to just stop, like, they just stopped. Like, it was like, they pushed it so hard and their power was so incredible, and then just out of nowhere, it was like, we're good. Like, and those guys, like, you didn't see really any of them just continue on in the scene.
Yeah.
It was like everyone, like, like how? Like, usually there'd be a handful, but really, that really didn't happen, which is the crazy thing to say.
I kind of felt that way about Jazzy. How Jazzy was like doing his power, and he got to a certain point, and after they lost the battle with Stylemans versus the Renegades, he walked away from breaking.
Yeah, well, but that's why I say, sometimes obstacles come, like, because to me, he seems like one of those guys that, like, and I could be wrong, but he seemed like one of those guys that just so naturally gifted.
Yeah, he was.
Like, freaks of nature, that it's just like, this is easy for me. And sometimes things come up and you just like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I already went into MC. Like, at least that's my recollection. Like, like he MCs now. Like, and I was like, oh, okay. All of us were like, damn. Like, okay, he just up and stopped. Like, the dude is incredible. Like, he just decided he don't want to do it no more. But like, to each our own. Sometimes, like it's just not that as important.
Yeah.
To us, and we respect him. We're like, moved on, even though we're like, wow, he could be, like, beyond incredible. But Sean Ortiz and them, everyone, like, all those crews that were super dope, like, the Jugheads, they were like top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Those guys would walk in the building and crews were like,
do you remember Jedi Clan?
Just everybody, like, all the B-boy crews up from San Jose.
Yeah.
Like, they would see Sean and Abel from Jugheads and those guys, and it was like, nope, these guys are top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Like, they just really, most everybody knew that they were just tops. Like, they were just tops. Even Jazzy and them. Like,
yeah.
Like they, like they were scared of those guys. Those guys were like,
Yeah, Jughead was like the crew, and I would go to the bay. I would hear Jughead Tribe.
Yeah, they were super incredible.
Yeah, a dude named Tootie. Remember Tootie? I know Tootie.
Yeah. No, those guys were really, they were top of the food chain, man. Like, they were really incredible. Most anything, like they were the guys that everyone else strived to be, which was crazy because, like I said, we saw so many other guys and we were like, God, everybody is super good. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
but, like, power looks too easy, you know, and those guys, you know, were stood at the top. So yeah, it was crazy. You know, so we ended up becoming B-Boys. We kept going. Everyone kind of, you know, started slowing down, and then that's, you know, for the guys up in Delano, they were slowing down.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they just started deciding it wasn't, you know, for them, which is kind of sad too, because that's when the scene started to really pick up down here.
Yeah.
The B-Boy Summers.
You're right.
Tron, all that, and really, you know, like that's when it was like, okay, here's other B-Boys from everywhere. Like before it was kind of like like, oh, I heard about a crew here. Oh, there's a crew over there. I heard, you know, but we didn't see each other. There was no YouTube. There was no B-Boy events. Those events, you know, from B-Boy Summit in San Diego to Radiotron being brought back here in LA, those were the first of the B-Boy events to bring back, and that's where everyone saw each other, and it was like, oh, there are a lot of crews. Like,
I remember that too, yeah.
And it was like a gathering, like, okay, like this is real, like this isn't everything we heard is real. Like there are a bunch of other crews, you know, and we got to show each other and then push, go home, take it to the lab and practice. And of course, we didn't have anything else but to come to work and then come back for whenever the next Radiotron or next summit and all then. And yeah, that's where it really took off, because after then, like, you know, like some of the tapes started going out, some events over in the Midwest or other places started happening, you know, and, you know, the LA crews were traveling and winning the contests, you know, in Miami, you know, wherever. Like they were just traveling, Washington, Texas, wherever, and they were putting it down. You know, whoever it was, LA crews were winning all of those. That with the tapes coming out, the evolution of how we were pushing, whether it be, you know, adding in a bunch of different new, like our own style, you know, taking what had been done and adding in our way, our West Coast flavor, you know, with house and grooving, everything else, and mixing it into our style, you know, and that was really kind of just opening things up. And then, you know, Soul Control and other guys pushing power, like trying to do new things, you know, the air flares and everything else, you know. And I've heard this thing about the whole air flare debate, all that, you know, here, like this, it got pushed here, you know. Like,
in LA?
Well, down here, like as far as like Soul Control, like the events we'd see where Soul Control, like they pushed. They're the ones who elevated and made that an established move. The airplanes and other little things that you see, you know? Like, we saw it progress. We saw it step by step, you know? And, like, everyone was searching for footage of whatever, you know, in different areas. Nobody was dropping that out, you know? Like we saw it before our eyes getting evolved. And we were, whatever little tidbits of footage we can get from other places, you know, we didn't see anybody who was doing that.
That's
true.
true.
You know, and nobody was claiming, oh no, we're doing it and showing it. Nobody, like, you know? And so, you know, whenever I hear about that, you know, and hey, this is just our circle, you know, of people, like we were there and saw it progress. You know, and there was nobody debating who was doing what, like especially like air flare wise at that time.
Yeah.
Nobody else from anywhere else saying, no, we got air flare. We'll show you. Nobody was doing that. Like no, there was no debate about air flares and taking it to next level. You know, like we saw it from those guys. Event. You know, them. You know, Ivan, and you know, but it was within this collective over here on the West Coast of being pushed, you know, like
yeah, that's true.
There were different people, you know, like the guys from Soul Control were in the middle of it. But yeah, there was Ivan, there was other guys.
Boy.
But mainly here, like Moy and them from Texas came after.
Yeah.
Like after the guys here pushed it.
Right.
Then those guys, So whenever I hear like this debate about like, oh no, air flares, they were pushed and they were established. There, I'm like, maybe, but wasn't nobody coming out, wasn't nobody speaking up at that time. I'll tell you that much.
True.
So, and I would think somebody would speak out. Like if there was a claim of whatever it was. If I know I'm incredible at something, and I know somebody else somewhere else is saying, "Oh no, we're doing this," I'm gonna speak up and say, "Nah."
Yes.
Look, we're gonna send you the tape. To our knowledge, wasn't nobody doing that. Nobody spoke up. We didn't know of anybody else anywhere else that was dropping, air flare and comboing it.
Comboing it, yeah.
In and out.
In and out, yeah.
Doing consecutive air flares, like nobody was speaking up at that time. So, I'm never going to speak and say, yeah, this wasn't happening, but I can speak on to the fact that many of us who have been around for a long time can speak up to the fact that wasn't nobody speaking up. Nobody ever spoke up during our time. They had the opportunity to speak up.
True.
And, so one man's opinion, and I'm sure if you get a round table of people who were here during that time, we've spoken around the table. Like we've all had our conversations that, tell you what, wasn't nobody speaking up. Like, we saw it happen step by step, and nobody else from anywhere else was speaking up at that time.
Yeah, that's facts though.
Well, I mean, in the end, doesn't mean that somebody else, maybe somewhere else didn't, but fact remains, nobody spoke up. Nobody was speaking their debates at that time. Like it isn't until like over these last so many years that I hear about it.
Yeah.
Like then we say no, it was this, and and I know, my guys get a little bit sad. I said, you know what, like people are gonna just, everyone's always going to write their own piece of history, and that's okay to each their own. For us who were around, like this is what we know, this is what we saw, and like it kind of makes sense that if somebody did, I know I'd speak up. Like, if I had somebody like, no, we're doing this, let me just show you, like, let me just say this.
Nice. No.
Rob, but
that's what it's about, Ace. I wanted everything, bro. You're giving me, like I can verify that because I did see it like progress out here. And then when I started going to the Bay, I seen the guys doing it, and but to me, it seemed like it was when Ruin really got into it. And then after that, I seen like Bert and everybody. That's just
it took off.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we saw it from the very very beginning where it was.
Because I seen it done first in Fresno with Pablo. Pablo did one.
And even and those guys picked it up fast and really took it, but even with Cujo and Ivan and all them, like all those guys were like playing and pushing. Like they would train together and they were all playing and pushing. It was a concept, like, I wonder, like, that would be crazy, and they would just go for it, and then it just started becoming an actual move. Like it wasn't, it wasn't a theory. It wasn't like an accident where you're just randomly throwing yourself. Like it was like, oh, this is where your body positioning should be at this point in the move. You should hold this much longer, reach over, grab on the other, like release here, catch on the other end. Like to where it became. That's when something becomes an actual move. You're not just randomly throwing it out there. You're like, no, you can break down where you should be at this point, at each point in a move. And that's how a move becomes an established move. It's not an accident because somebody else can explain to you where you should be at that point. And those guys were doing it so much that they could explain where you should be at every point in this thing, in this step, in this move. You know, to where you can repeat it over and over and over again. You can just repeat it, and you can now turn it into a combination with this, or to repeat it and do it 2 times, to do it 3 times. You know, that's how a move really becomes a move. You know, not just throwing yourself. Like,
Okay.
you know, we do that. We, you know, like we do a lot of things by accident that are incredible because b-boying is incredible, and we're throwing ourselves every which way. You know, it isn't until you know, like, can break down that feeling and that step, and then break it down here, and then repeat it. Okay, I should be here, then I hold, then I catch on, you know, whatever. And that goes for any move. Like, when any move I teach, I can tell everybody where you should be at every point in that step. I can tell you stretches for it. I can tell you, you know, workouts for that step. You know, like, you know, and that's part of me as a dancer, because dance always was hard for me. So in order for me able to really do it myself, I had to break it down. Boom, 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 boom. This is where I should be. Oh, what would help me get stronger? I'd make that more explosive. Oh, do I need to be more flexible to be able to really maximize this step, or just to do the step, you know, or move, you know? And when you're able to do that, then it becomes a step. You know? In my mind.
I got you.
Yeah, in my mind, that is how something becomes an established move or step.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that. I know, Ace, we can go on forever, bro.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, I wanted to acknowledge you, because I feel like you shouldn't have to wait for somebody to pass away to give them their flowers and their props. You know what I'm saying? And whether if you know it or not, like, you've been a big influence on me. Even though I don't do power, I was always inspired by your character. Like, when I would see you break, because I'll forget about what moves you did, but I'll never forget your character, and I'll never forget the way that you made me feel. And I think as dancers, though, like, we need to say that before our time is up here on Earth, to be honest with you. Because we can be doing this, and then, like, we can be gone by Friday, bro, and nobody's immune.
Well, this, you know, for me, dancing, well, dancing is a thing. You know, like, the dancers, you know, we can do a lot of moves, but we should have fun. We should, it's an extension of our character and our personality, you know, the things that make us who we are. So if somebody is, like, rough and rugged when they do it, if it's coming from a genuine place, awesome.
Okay.
You know, if somebody's having fun and it's coming from a genuine, awesome. Just whatever it is, my feeling is you should always just come, you know, really come from a genuine place, an extension of who you are. If I see someone hardcore and then they're like, hey, you know, whatever, I was like, okay, like, yeah, that's kind of a little bit weird, but, you know, like, but when people dance, you know, like, I know there's guys that we look up to, you know, and we see what wins battles and all that, you know, but I would always encourage everybody to really just find who you are. You know, as a dancer, what really makes it fun for you. Find your own identity out there on the dance floor. Don't worry about and conform to what everyone else is doing. Of course, we have our foundations, we have all that. But you gotta find who you are, you know, and do you know, because whether you win or don't win or whatever,